Welcome. You've got Dads.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So this is the third of the third dates that we're going to go on. So last time we went on our third date with Brian, and then before that we went on our third date with Damien. So the third dad that we're going to go on the third date with is Joseph. And to explain the pun title of this episode, The Passion of the Christiansen, it's based off of a movie in the 2000s, The Passion of the Christ, and I felt it really fit not only because of the names, but, naturally the religious nature of Joseph really fit well with that pun title. So we're going to get on with our date, and we're going to go experience the Passion of the Christiansen. So let's see what that has in store for us. I mean, yeah, managing debt is a part of being an adult, but I think the ultimate goal is to never get in debt. If you can avoid it, that's the best way to go. And I know not everybody can. It takes a lot of just luck of the draw, a lot of knowing what to look for in opportunities. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the date, so let's just get onward. Yeah, Mary has a tendency to make things weird. The interesting thing is, though, and so we have that encounter with Mary after Joseph's second date, like immediately after it. But the funny thing is, when we went on Damien's third date, which was after Joseph's second date, by the way, and we met Mary, she was completely congenial to us. And it's like, I mean, I know it's definitely just an issue with the developers having made the game the way they did. They never put in any sort of system which allows the Mary character to recognize that the player has gone on a second date with Joseph. If they did, then she would have reacted much less amicably to us during Damien's third date. I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, we should be able to have a platonic relationship with him, no problem. But the issue is, we all know, the Dadsona knows, Joseph knows, Mary knows, that it's not just platonic. Like, there's a spark of something there. And while the spark hasn't come to fruition, I mean, it easily can. I mean, we don't know that as the Dadsona. We really honestly don't know that. Mary knows that because Mary and Joseph have that past together where Joseph did cheat on her, which our Dadsona doesn't know about that. So we're kind of speaking, in meta here. Because I know about that, and most people who play the game know about that. But anyway. Yeah, this is the first because all of our dates with Joseph have been like community service. I have a feeling yacht is Joseph's euphemism for his penis. Like, yeah, I know Joseph does have a yacht, but you can't tell me that he wasn't secretly wanting this to mean something else.
Yeah!
Okay, so obviously Amanda was reading over our shoulder to get that message, right? And part of me wonders if, like, when she was reading this in her head, did she just go, wait, what the hell? And then she read it on and she's like, okay. But then she probably doubled back on it and went like, gross. This honestly doesn't affect the date in any way, but we'll go with the top one because we're trying to get her scholarships for college. So we may not literally be paying for it.
Ugh. Hmm. Yeah.
Role reversal.
Hmm?
Okay, I'm a little confused why they're describing this part because we've been to the bay before. It is a good question. What is he doing here?
Oh.
So, does Robert know about me and Joseph simply because he just knows things and it's like just obvious to everybody? Or did Mary, what's the word for it? Did Mary snitch? Did she, because her and Robert are buddy-buddy, right? Did she and him have like a drinking night at the bar and she just like spilled the guts about, me and Joseph's budding bromance? Like, but that still doesn't explain why the hell he's here at the marina. Like, I guess, it's a free country. He could be here. But it's just, I don't know. It does seem a little odd. So, just for the record, you only get this scene if you go on Robert's second date, but then choose Joseph as your dream daddy for the third date.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little annoyed at this part. Simply because we've had really good rapport with Robert, and for him to just act like this, I mean, I guess it's just Robert. I have no earthly idea, but it's like, why in his mind did he not like kind of process this and think, oh, the Dadsona doesn't know about Joseph's bad side or whatever issue he and Robert have, Joseph and Robert have. The Dadsona doesn't know that. And Robert would know, or would likely know, that the Dadsona doesn't know that. So, in what way would getting like aggressive and angry with us, who's completely ignorant, help the situation? Like, if he's concerned, that's not going to help the situation.
Oh.
Well, considering we've never been on the yacht before, we don't know what's going to happen on the yacht. Personally, I do, but the Dadsona doesn't. And this is the point. This is the point that actually pisses me off about this part. Robert knows we're not like that. We've been on 2 dates with Robert. Robert knows we care about him. Robert knows we want the best for him. Robert knows we've been there for him when a lot of people probably wouldn't have been. So it's really out of left field that he should, treat us as if, we don't care.
Oh.
Okay, so he's the jealous type, or seemingly the jealous type. Maybe he's honestly concerned for us. It could be both. Now, admittedly, I don't think the Dadsona should have said this. I really don't think it would. I really don't think it helps the situation at all.
Hmm? Hmm. Oh.
See, and now he calms down, which is nice.
Huh.
But what makes me a little bit angry is if he's so concerned about us, why doesn't he tell us at this point? Why doesn't he tell us? Why leave us to ask, well, you know what? He should tell us, and then he should say, now go ask Joseph about it sometime. Because then we would get both sides of the story, and we can kind of, make up our own mind about it. But it still doesn't make any sense why Robert does not tell us. And this, hold on, I'm gonna go bitch mode for a second. This personally really pisses me off. Like, Robert is a moody guy, I get that, but this part pisses me the fuck off. Because Robert, like I said, he knows we care about him. He knows we've had good rapport with him. We've tried our best to get along with him. We've tried our best not to judge him. We've tried our best to be there for him when so many people wouldn't be there for him. We have wanted to see him grow into a better person. We've told him we want to see him be a better person. He knows this. We know this. And then he couldn't go and fucking dump on us. Like, we have never cared about him a day in our life. Like, both of our 2 dates meant absolutely nothing to us. Which I can get how he might feel that way a little bit if we've decided to choose Joseph as our 3rd date. Because it would seem like, oh, Robert wasn't really my type. Joseph's more my type, let me go for Joseph. And I can see how Robert would think that we, that we maybe not care, but just because we have chosen Joseph, which would kind of signify that Robert's not really our type, because someone is not really your type doesn't mean you stop caring about them. I mean, there are people in the world all the time who have friends that they tried to form something romantic with, then they discovered they're either not their type or it just wouldn't work out, and they can still care about that friend, and they still do care about that friend. So Robert should recognize this because of all we've gone through for him. And it just makes me so mad that he has the audacity to throw this line out there. He knows we're not an awful person. He's just being an asshole. And if he was really, really concerned about us, shacking up or getting together with Joseph, then he would try to be the better person and to explain in clarity and detail and actual concern for why we shouldn't be seeing Joseph. He wouldn't just kind of leave us with some mystery-ass thing to solve. A good friend won't do that to you. A good friend will sit you down, they'll explain the danger of the situation if there's a danger, or the concern of the situation, and they'll help you see what maybe you're not seeing because you're blindsided by, your emotions. But Robert doesn't give us the benefit of the doubt. So he can go fuck himself for all I'm concerned. And my apologies for going on that rant. It just really makes me mad because I like Robert a lot. In fact, he's one of my favorite dads. And it just makes me so mad that he has this complete moment of just, deciding that we're trash. And it's like, after all we've shown him, we're not that. And it's just made me so mad. Well, I think it's cute that he's a goofball. Because, Joseph seems so tightly wound sometimes it's nice to see him, you know, kind of letting loose, being friendlier, being goofier. You know, that's a nice side to see. He probably jerks off a lot. I mean, with how him and Mary's, you know, relationship and marriage is going, I wouldn't doubt it if they don't sleep together. So, it could be true.
Ooh. Oh.
It's always nice when you get to see somebody in their element, though. So this part never made a lot of sense to me. I'm gonna go with a pun.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are whales in the Atlantic Ocean, but do whales, you know, do they kind of travel or circulate or live near Massachusetts? How far out to sea exactly are we going? This isn't going to be another Titanic, is it?
Oh. Nice.
I don't even know how old Joseph is. I mean, he doesn't look old at all. My guess is he's in his late 30s at the most, like maybe 38 or 39. Maybe 40 at the most. But I can't see him being, you know, like 45 or anything like that. And I wish we could kind of see how toned these muscles are. I mean, can we get like Joseph in a tank top, Joseph shirtless, Joseph pantless, Joseph underwearless? You know, just get all up in the nude. Can we do that? Those are not impure thoughts. Who decides what thoughts are pure or impure? Those are just thoughts. They're natural. So, I'm just saying.
Eh?
Now, did the music stop on purpose, or is it just like Brian's date where it just randomly stopped for no reason? Because if it stopped on purpose because, you know, it's a lot quieter, then that would make sense. But I really don't know.
Oh.
The question is, why was he waiting for us at the dock? Like, one... Okay, even if Mary had confided in him and Robert came down to the docks because he was concerned and he wanted to confront us, although confrontation isn't really the best idea, you know, about his concerns and warning us about Joseph, how did he know that we were going to be going down there today? Because I'm sure, well, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe Joseph shares his plans with Mary and who he's going to hang out with, but I really don't imagine he does. Maybe the Dover Ghost told Robert. Maybe. Maybe that's what happened.
Oh. Oh.
How about you be honest with us? Because that's what I would appreciate.
Huh?
You know, you can just say sex. Like, it's a completely normal word to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame you. Robert is a hot, hot, hot man. And I'm sure he has a really nice booty and a really nice dick. So I don't necessarily blame you, but you are married. So that's kind of on you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, while Robert is somebody who does proposition people, because he did proposition us, I'm pretty sure he knows who Joseph is, simply because of Joseph's standing in the community, right? So I have a really hard time imagining that Robert propositioned Joseph, who he I would say most likely would have known is married. And if Robert was friends with Mary back then he would have definitely known. And so then that part doesn't add up because I just don't feel like Robert is that kind of guy. Robert's a very loyal person, and I've noticed that over our 2 dates. So did Robert really proposition Joseph? That's the question. Or did Joseph, did he initiate? We don't know.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm upset, but I am suspicious. I don't feel like I'm getting the whole truth of what's happening here. And now I have to reiterate, this is why Robert should have, explained to us or conveyed to us more than he did. He shouldn't have just let it be a mystery. He should have, taken the time to actually have a conversation with us about this. Because if Robert thinks Joseph's a bad person, then in my mind, if I were Robert, I would think, okay, Joseph probably isn't going to come clean about this. Joseph probably isn't going to tell the truth about this, so it's up to me to tell the truth to help my friend because I'm concerned with my friend. That's what I would think, right? But Robert doesn't do that. So we're left in the dark. We're not getting any truth from Robert. We're not getting any truth from Joseph because despite Joseph trying to pass that off as truth, I know that's not truth. And I know that, and I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that as somebody who's played the game. I'm just saying that if I were the Dadsona, I would still be suspicious. Because I can think for myself. No. I mean, I agree. I do think people deserve forgiveness in some things. But let's not erase that here. Things don't just happen. Cheating doesn't just happen. Cheating is a process. You don't magically just end up naked with somebody. No, it takes some calculation. You got to plan to get naked. You got to meet up. You got to know not to spill the beans if your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend or whomever ask you, any questions about, the whereabouts of, or the timing, the general details. So like I said, it's a calculation. It's not a thing that just happens. It's not like you walk down the street, you trip on something, fall head into into someone's arms, and boom, both y'all clothes is naked. I mean, both y'all clothes is gone. Both y'all is naked. Penises is up in somebody's hoo-ha or vice versa. There's an exchange of fluids. There's an orgasm. I don't buy that. Cheating doesn't just happen. It is a process. And while it can be forgiven, it's not up to us to forgive that. But like I said, I'm not going to sit here and think, like if I was in the Dadsona's position and Joseph had told me and had admitted that he had cheated on his wife with Robert, I'm going to think twice. Because then I'm going to sit there and be like, okay, if he cheated before, he could cheat on us if we get serious. And I know cheating's not just something that happens. It's something that's a calculated process. So, I don't know, like, red flags are going off, girl. Red flags are going off. Despite that, though, I still like Joseph. So, what does that say about me? Ooh, I'd hate to know. Is this a euphemism? I love, like, just, I don't know, it's just fun to me to just kind of, like, throw in innuendo where there actually isn't any. People don't really ride dolphins much, though. It's not really something that happens.
Ooh. Oh.
Thing is, though, I don't trust you. Not right now. If I had to yell something to insult the creatures of the sea, I honestly wouldn't choose any of these, but let's say we had lobster last week. Although, Amanda said we were allergic to shellfish, so we couldn't have had lobster. But I'm going to choose it.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Ooh.
Yes. Nothing should be that big. That's what he said. Yeah, I just brought back, you know, a joke from, what, like 3 years ago? That's what Joseph's going to say in the bedroom later. Nothing should be that big. Ooh.
Yeah.
Bitch, we eat tuna. I ain't afraid of no damn tuna. Now, jellyfish I'm a little bit afraid of. But tuna, I ain't afraid of no damn tuna.
Eh.
Truth is, I done forgot what that bitch said. Oh, yeah, that's true. He is unhappy. Their marriage is completely falling apart. He does deserve better. And it's not really our place to judge him that, you know, whatever happened in their marriage. Maybe it was the Robert thing that made him fall apart. I don't know. We don't know. That's never disclosed. I don't blame you. I mean, he's a very attractive man, very handsome, very nice body. He's often sincere with us, even though I don't think he's always honest. He's very friendly. He's shown that he seems to care about us. He's funny. I don't know if he's smart. We don't really get to see much of his intelligence, but he seems like he could be. You know, there's a lot to like about him. I think at this point we deserve to know. Because we both know, you and I, like Joseph and the Dadsona, we both know something is budding between us. So it's going to be a conversation that has to come up. So it's something that we deserve to know.
Oh, Kirk Douglas!
Haha. Ugh.
So you didn't think to fill up your gas tank before you took the yacht out into the ocean? Like, maybe you aren't that intelligent.
Okay. Oh.
Oh yeah, like that sounds like a genius plan. That's master electricianship right there.
MacGyver, that radio.
So this is the only mini game that you have with Joseph, and honestly, there's really nothing to it. You just put a bunch of this crap in there and hit the power button, and find out what works. So what I found is if you kind of connect these two pieces, things start to work, and it really doesn't honestly matter, from what I've discovered, of what you put in there. So let's just take our first item. Oh, interesting. I've never had it do that before. Okay, so we have a spark. That's a good sign. So our items, we have wires. We have, I don't know what the fuck that is. That looks like Mr. Hanky from South Park, to be honest. We have an unbent paperclip, a bent paperclip, a rubber ducky, a screw. It looks like a dime. Is that tape? I really don't know. A pencil. Chewed gum. It looks like some sort of phone charger. And a condom. So, I just put whatever in there that I think, or that I think would work and that I like. So technically I think any of it can work though. So we still need more. Let's do a screw. Okay, that sounds a bit better. Let's do a condom, because why the hell not? No, still need something else. Let's do a dime. No, wait. Let's do the gum. Wire is moved. There we go. So all we needed was 2 wires, some gum, a screw, and a condom. Now you guys know how to fix a radio. Go and try it out.
Haha. Yeah. Oh.
Personally, I love wine. So I can either go wine, wine, or wine. And I think I'm going to go with the third one, because we're on a stressful yacht. We're developing a relationship with a guy who cheated, and we don't know if we can completely trust him, but he's mesmerizing and we really like him. So at this point, we really need a drink. So girl, pour that wine. It better be good wine too. If you a cheap ass wine, oh, I am gonna be pissed. You have a Pinot Noir? You have something good? Better not be white wine. I hate white wine. Let's see. We can see that Joseph wears boxer briefs. So let's examine the lounge. Makes me wonder, though, what kind of person was Joseph's dad? Because he said this is his dad's yacht that he bought in the 60s. So if this is look like an old Playboy photo shoot, was he a player? I don't know. But if he was a player, maybe it runs in the family. Who knows? Let's examine the floor. Yes, we can tell. Mm-hmm. It does, doesn't it? Let's examine the bed. Okay, let's examine the side table. Let's focus on the rest of the room, I guess. Let's go examine the shelf. Let's examine the books. Knickknacks. Photos. Yes. So remember, Hugo is the only dad confirmed that we know for sure had a same-sex ex. So his ex was also a guy. I mean, it could be Hugo's ex. It might have been whoever lived in the house we live in now, you know, the previous tenant, I guess you could say. Okay, back to the rest of the room. Now let's look at the cabinet. There's no real need to examine the fire extinguisher, but we'll do it. Flashlights. Although there's no need for that either. And the drawer. So what kind of wine is Twilight Rouge, though? Is it a Merlot? Is it a Zinfandel? Is it a Pinot Noir? Is it a Chablis? I think Chablis is a red wine. Not really sure. I don't really drink it. Is it a Cabernet Sauvignon? Like, what are we dealing with here? So there's nothing else to focus on, so I guess we can go back up to Joseph.
Wink. Ooh.
What's a kickflip? Because I honestly don't know, and at this point I'm scared to ask.
Hey.
What? A regular pour or a power pour? Well, if we're gonna celebrate, bitch, let's just power pour it. Let's just chug out of the wine bottle. Let's do that.
Oh.
Wow. Must be fancy.
Ooh.
Well, that's really sweet.
Ugh.
What? Why did you go and say that? Was it uncomfortable for you to say just you and me? Like, did you have to add in the whales to the equation? Or is whales a euphemism? for all the sex we're going to be having. Who knows? Who knows? Exactly, you are killing the vibe.
Oh.
Okay, that was clever. I'll give him that one. If I wanted to revive the vibe, though, I'm not going to keep talking about whales. I'm not going to ask him about a yacht, though. Like, why would I need to ask him about a yacht? That would just... Let's go with the view. I mean, we could go with this one. I still don't really get that whole scene in the lounge, you know, where he said something about the mysteries. But I'm going to go with the view.
Yeah.
Well, see, I know he's not talking about me because people don't describe other people as full-bodied. Like, come on. He's not talking about you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go have a love affair and go have sex with your wine, then by all means, go do that. Okay, we'll go with the mysteries line.
Oh, Cracker Barrels.
Oh, now you embarrassed. You embarrassed that we caught onto your smut reading. Is that it?
Oh, Kirk Douglas.
Uh-huh. You don't have to convince me. You're trying to convince yourself. Of sex books, exactly. Erotica.
Oh.
Written porno. See, now, here's a part that I've always wondered. Because my theory, as I've stated in one of the past videos, is that I think but the Dadsona in general. I think the Dadsona in general is a writer. Like, I think that's what his profession is. And that would explain why the Dadsona has such a free schedule, right? And why the Dadsona, you never see him go to work. And so my theory on top of that theory that he's a writer is that it's not really a theory, it's a question. Is the Dadsona the writer of these sex detective novels? Like, does he ghostwrite them? Is it a pseudonym? Because I've always wondered. Because he knows a lot about them, so he's read them at least. But the question is, did he read them or did he write them?
Oh.
I mean, this line kind of throws water on that theory, but what if he doesn't want anybody to know? And then he could say this line, and it would be perfectly valid either way.
Oh.
You know, all this talk of wine, though, that's making me want a sangria. A good summer sangria. Oh, that'd be delicious.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I don't get that joke, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys actually had a talk, because every situation I've seen you two in, which is only one, by the way, you two are constantly just like sniping at each other. So you two actually can settle, well, not even you two, it's just really Mary that's the problem. So Mary can actually compose herself and actually have a talk, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
The truth is, though, you don't... And I'm not saying that Joseph doesn't need anybody, period. But in general, a person doesn't need another person to be happy. And if you just went through a divorce or you're about to go through a divorce, you need time to kind of process that and heal before you move on to something. Like, that's just what I think. It's really up to every, individual person to decide that. But I don't think it's a smart idea that if he's going through, a breakup or divorce, whatever, he shouldn't be just jumping straight into another relationship like the drop of a hat. That's not healthy, because then it'll feel like a rebound, and it'll make us feel like a rebound as well. That is really sweet, though. All right. I'm gonna stop writing. Well, I want to write Joseph, but I'm gonna stop, complaining about Joseph's lifestyle. I'm just gonna enjoy the moment. And I'll let everybody watching enjoy the moment as well.
Huh? Ah.
I have to say, I really do like, though, how this game, it really doesn't make it like I don't even know how to describe it very well. So mainly what I'm trying to say is that sexuality in this game is just completely accepted. Like, many of the dads are bi, some may be gay, some may be other, but the sexuality of all the characters in this game is just very accepted. Like, this co-star character, we don't even meet, and, they want to see us happy. They're like, oh, are you guys gonna kiss? There's no opposition to the sexuality, is my point. And I think that's really cool. It's not very realistic, because unfortunately in the real world we do have still tons of opposition, as much as it's unwarranted. So it's like, it's sweet, but it's unrealistic. But the fact that it's unrealistic is kind of nice, because in the real world it should be unrealistic. Hold on. Let me just rewind that. In the real world, it shouldn't be opposed. End of story.
Lawrence of Arabia!
Hmm.
Lawrence of Arabia!
Oh. Hmm.
Lawrence of Arabia!
Ah. Yeah.
Delicious. Oh, I am sure we have jerked off about this in our head many a time. Like, I'm sure the Dadsona has done that. Like, at nighttime when he's gone to bed, he can't fall asleep. I'm sure he's pulled it off to that. I am sure. and I don't blame him. Just put that on the record. I do not blame him. That is a beautiful piece of man right there. Oh, we gonna go all night, apparently. I don't think it's the wine that did it. I'm sure it's the dick and the booty or whoever's hoo-ha and whoever's whatever. You know, I'm sure it's something like that. I do have the feeling Joseph's just a very romantic guy if you get him in the right setting. And I think this is one of those settings. See, I kind of wish we hadn't apparently stood up. Like, kind of wish we had just nudged him while we were in the bed with him. And you just had like a really romantic moment of looking into each other's eyes like that. But because of the scene is like when he notices me hovering over him, I just can't help but think like the Dadsona is standing there buck ass naked with his ding-a-ling just like flopping and flopping around. And he's trying to wake Joseph up. And I can't imagine waking up, turning my head, and just see some, tall ass man with his ding-a-ling hanging out. And I don't think I could take that seriously. I don't think I could do it. It's like, oh, just no. You gotta keep the romance, and that just kills it.
Duh.
Typo. Joseph and I. I mean, despite all of our suspicions, and despite our doubts, and despite our hesitations, and red flags, and, ding-a-lings flopping around, I did have a fun time. Like, that would have been a very nice date. I mean, I would have had a lot of reservations in the back of my mind, but no matter what, we spent it with a very beautiful man. He's very kind, he's very nice, he's very friendly, he's handsome, he's, sociable, he's romantic. So ultimately, it was, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I still stand by the headcanon idea that when they go down into the lounge to do, that, Joseph says to the Dadsona the same line that the Dadsona says about whales. Nothing should be that big. Like, I'm just going to headcanon that from now on, because that is too awesome. I do kind of feel sad for him, though, that he's habitating on his yacht. Like, as much as living on a boat probably would be fun, it's just to be apart from your family like that, and to live on what you're essentially doing on your boat. What you're kind of doing is squatting, like, because your boat isn't designated as an actual residence, right? I don't know. It's kind of sad in a way. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, you look great. That was fun.
Why are your voice lines just so low? It's so hard to hear. But I'm actually a little surprised we made an A and not an S. But as I think about it, so in the beginning of the date when we got on the yacht and Joseph says that line about wrestling Neptune and that we need to take our shirt off, if you actually, I forget what the option is, it's the very last option, but if you take that option, you actually take your shirt off, and that scores better points with Joseph. But, you know, whatever, an A is perfectly fine. So we've chosen the what no option. We've chosen the sorry sweetie it's the feds option. This time we're going to go with the you ask too many questions option. And that kind of gets straight to the point. And like I said, all of the endings have very, very similar dialogue, except for like a few little key situations here and there. So we're going to go through this really fast. We're just going to speed through the dialogue until we hit points which are unique to Joseph's dad ending.
Huh. Yes. Ah. All right. All right.
So now this part is unique to Joseph's ending. I wouldn't want to either. Yeah, let's be the bigger adult, because we know Mary probably won't be.
Come on.
So my question is, if she thinks we're a homewrecker, if she thinks bad of us, whatever she thinks of us, why is she even at this party? Like, okay, maybe she wants to support Amanda, but I don't know, it's still iffy why she'd be at the party. Like, because I personally probably wouldn't go. Yeah, it's awkward, and that's about it for that.
Hey. Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
Like I said, the devs really needed to make the ending a lot more different each time. Because there are things that are different, but it's just not enough is different. So it just seems so monotonous.
Nice.
Hey,
I love you, Hugo, but we've had this conversation 2 times already.
Huh. Pew.
But you keep being cute. That's all we care about right now. You keep being you, Hugo. You awesome. So now I don't remember if Robert acts a bit differently in Joseph's ending or not, or if he acts the same as he has been in the other two endings.
Hmm?
Hey.
I'm actually a little mad that the devs didn't flesh that out a bit more because, I mean, we saw at the very beginning of the date in this episode that Robert had confronted us, about being concerned that we don't know the full truth about Joseph, which, of course, he didn't elaborate on, but that's beside the point at this moment. But it kind of makes me mad that the devs didn't throw more Robert interaction into the ending, because it almost treats it as if that scenario never happened. And I feel like it needed more closure in the ending. Because there's obviously a backstory there, there's obviously history, and there's even history between us, like I said, because we saw him at the marina and we got confronted. So the devs really should have put something in there for that. Oh, okay. So usually we get Amanda coming up to us first, but I guess this goes a bit differently.
Okay.
Oh.
And I can understand that, but I'm going to get on a slight rant in just a moment about this.
Wink.
I'm not entirely sure what he means by that, though.
Aye.
Okay, so now I'm going to just rant about that for a second. And I do agree that this is the better ending for Joseph. So if you get, like, I want to say C's and B's in Joseph's dates, you'll get his bad ending, in which he stays with Mary, but he also tries to have a relationship with you on the side, so you become his side hoe. And in that ending, it definitely makes me think, like, okay, when you and Robert got together, because it was a lot more serious than just a one-night stand, or at least Robert thought it was, clearly, because he wouldn't be reacting how he is, right? So, after you and Robert got together, did you pull the same shtick with him that, oh, I really love my wife, I gotta be with my wife, and now you just fall into the same habit by doing the same thing with us because you let your dick get in the way, essentially? Like, is that what happened? And I would believe that of the bad ending. Now, if this ending, that thought does nag in my mind, but because Joseph is deciding to cut it off with us romantically entirely, it makes me think, okay, he does care about the Dadsona. He does, he does want the best that he can offer, and he knows that, if he does try to have the best of both worlds, essentially, that it's just going to lead to hurting us, and that we don't deserve that. He seems to know that we don't deserve that kind of pain, that kind of being used, So I think that's nice, but I honestly hate this ending. No matter the good ending or the bad ending, I hate the ending. And I can understand Joseph's position that, you don't want your kids to grow up in an environment where there's divorce, where people can be estranged. Like, I understand that. But talking on a personal note, I grew up in a household in which my parents stayed together, and they fought. Oh, they fought all the time. I mean, it wasn't anything physical, thank God, but it was just so vicious with the words and just the atmosphere feeling tense and aggressive. And that's no environment to raise children in. Like, I had often wondered growing up if my parents were ever going to get divorced. And I honestly, at some points, looked forward to the day that they would get divorced. Now, they never did get divorced. But this is the point I'm talking about with Joseph and Mary, is that sometimes divorce is the best option. Sometimes you have to end it to make sure that everybody comes out okay. Because staying together would honestly be worse because of the psychological trauma, the psychological effects it's going to have, because you two don't truly love each other anymore, and you aren't going to actually end up providing a loving environment for your children, because that's going to seep in everywhere else. Like, if you're in a relationship with somebody that you don't love, then you're just fooling yourselves. You're just going to end up hurting each other and hurting those around you who have put faith and trust in your love to help nurture them, help care for them. So, just ending this thought, I kind of wish there was an ending where Joseph realizes this, where Joseph realizes that sometimes what's in the best interest of everybody is ending it. And Joseph does deserve to be happy. So he should realize that by ending it, he's going to make Mary happy because she's miserable in a marriage. He's going to make his kids, I wouldn't say he's going to make them happy. Naturally, that's not going to make them happy, but they'll get over it. And in the long run, their psychological well-being is going to be a lot better because both of their parents are going to learn to grow. They're going to move on with their lives, and they're going to be able to love their kids in a more proper way that's not surrounded by this, negativity or tension. And in the long run, that after the divorce and Joseph has grown, then he would realize that he deserves to be happy. He would be able to get with the Dadsona as he wants to, and as the Dadsona wants to. And just essentially, that would be a better ending for everybody involved in that. So I'm a little mad that in both of Joseph's endings, he decides to stay with Mary. I kind of wish there was a third option here. Honestly, it really doesn't boil down to us. It really boils down to Joseph and just not seeing what's actually there, and his own indecision. I feel like we should play Donna Summer's MacArthur Park right now, because just, the cake, the emotions, I just feel like it would really fit. So if I remember correctly, in this ending, Amanda also has a scene or some dialogue right after the normal dialogue, just kind of consoling her dad, and his pseudo breakup with his pseudo romance interest boyfriend person, aka Joseph. So I'm going to skip until that part. We'll see what happens.
Ugh.
Yeah, this is the part, I think.
Huh.
And that's really sweet. That is really comforting. And because we got the S and A in dates with Joseph, we should get the pin-up at the end. I'm going to be a little bit honest. I don't really like this pinup. I don't think the art style is as good as some of the other pinups. It almost seems a little boxy. But, I mean, overall, I guess it's okay. I mean, Joseph still looks good. We still get to see him in the Speedo, which is kind of odd, I guess. Anyway, so that's the ending for Joseph. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time to see what Dad's third date we're going to go on next. And we'll see you then.